Hey, how you doing? This is Tony the 6-String Corner, and today I'm going to show you Ghost of a Chance by Rush off the Roll the Bones album. I had a lot of requests for doing this song, so congratulations. Here you are. I will have tabs to this in the 6-String Corner tab library. The minute this goes out, it probably won't be there, but if you're watching this in the future, in my future, you will see it. All right, so without any further ado, after you like and subscribe to the channel and the video, let's get on with it. So the first part of the song goes like this. All right, so we're going to end up on that B power chord right here. The riff starts on the D string. So that's all between the open D, 2, and 3. And notice from 2 to 3 we're doing a hammer on, pull off, and then a pull off to the D string from 2. And then 2-0 again on the D, and then open A, and then the B chord. Next comes this arpeggiated pattern that you're going to play, and it goes like this. So we're going to be using the open strings, open B and an open E, and we start with what would be actually technically a E power chord. So just like this, 2 on the D, 4 on the G, and an open B. All right, so I'm just going to play it open for a minute. You're going to eventually mute this, but it's and play that same pattern. You're just going to lift your finger off and use the open D. But you're just going to go bum, bum, bum. You're going to take out one beat. And then you go to the B. So now the B is going to be a B power chord, but you're going to also use the open B and the open E. You're going to need that. Now the first part of that pattern, 4 times, you're going to do it muted. It's going to be really muted. You probably want to even roll back a little bit on your volume knob. And it'll go like this. All right, so your right hand is kind of muting those strings just a little bit. From there, then what you're going to do is you're going to open it up. So the second 4, set of 4, it opens up just a little bit, kind of like how I just showed you. And then you're going to revisit it later. I'll get to that in a second, but that's how that will be played, at least to this part of the song. Then we come up with this really beautiful mellow sound. Get that rhythm pickup, that neck pickup on there, and then, right, a lot of reverb, chorus. I think he uses a Roland jazz chorus amp on this one, so it sounds like it too. That's just really, it's got that sound to it. Now the chords you're going to play are going to be an F sharp minor up here, and then you go to an F sharp major over here. Interesting, huh? Back to the minor. And then it's going to be an E major. Sometimes you're gonna come off to an E sus and back to that F major. It just kind of goes back and forth there. The first time into it, you're just going to stay on the F sharps, the minor to the major, and then from there on out, minor, E major, sometimes E sus. All right. And an F sharp major. Now with this one too, it's a lot of feel to it, so I'm kind of feeling that one out. So I'm going, because he does too. And then the very last time when Getty sings "And There Believe There's a Ghost of a Chance," I think what you're going to do is this. All right. All we're doing there is lifting the middle finger up and down, keeping this barred on the G string. And then there's an E major, right? And then there's a little arpeggiation goes from the high E string. We're just going to play like an E sus-like chord there, and then back to the F sharp major. Now there's some little lead lines in here. You can kind of improvise on that. Some of them go, you know, stuff like this. right, maybe now there's much reverb. I think that one's got the reverb pull out, but you get the idea. You're going to play a lot of that, which is really going to be kind of in the key of F sharp minor or A major, whichever you prefer. That's where those little lead lines are coming in. Just pentatonic stuff, really light, minimal. Don't go crazy with it. All right, now comes the next part, and that's this sound here. All right, as you can tell, lots of reverb in this one. Actually, to be honest with you, I'd stacked some delays in here. It actually, I think, sounds better than even just a lot of that reverb. But it's a very atmospheric, you know, ambient sound, very big. I think there's a little bit of a octave. Is it an octaver, or he's tracked a lower guitar in there? It's kind of in the background, so it's not up front. But if you really listen to it, if you can kind of get it, it fills that sound out a little bit. So how's that played? It's this. We're just right here in this position here for the A F sharp minor. And here's how we'll play that. We're gonna. So this is just on the B string. The frets we're using is on 10 and 9, and then we're on 11 and 9 on the G, and then you're going to use the 11 on the D, just for this one part. Just get that to sound really big and clear. Obviously you don't want to overdo the reverb. Just kind of trails a little bit in the background where you got the main guitar part here, and it's just sort of sitting in the background. Make that happen, man. It sounds really, really good. The second time when we come into this part, right, you're gonna do that 4 times, still with the muted sound, and then you're gonna open it up, but you're gonna change the chord structure a little bit. All right, so this is just kind of how I'm hearing it. This is where you're playing, and I don't even know what this chord would be called, but this is on ring fingers, 4 on D, 4 on G, and then we're going to bar over here on the 2nd fret on the E and the B string. All right, and so we're going to play this pattern like this. And then the second chord is the same thing here, except we're going to, now instead of playing this note to start with F sharp, we're going to start on this E. So this is where that barring of the pointer finger comes in. We're going to bar all 4 of these strings on the 2nd fret, just leaving this little finger here with 4 on the G string. And you're going to just take 1 beat out from what you did earlier. So, and then here. And then the last part will be this. All right, now I think the pattern goes here. I know you're going to go to this C sharp, so this ring finger's on the 4th fret on the A, keeping this barred, and this little finger still stays on that 4th fret. So it never really leaves this whole pattern. This one here, what I'm hearing is this. And then we do it again. And then that last one is E to B string. We're not really playing the D string on this one, so putting that together. All right, I think that's how it goes. It's pretty close. That's close enough. If you guys got a better way of playing that, that's great, but it's a C sharp something chord. I don't know what that's exactly called. It only comes the second time into this. I guess that's the verse. So it's the second half of that verse. The only time you'll play that. All right, now for the solo. The solo is in F sharp minor or A major, depending on how you want to look at it. All right, that whole beginning is on the B string. The notes we're going to be playing are on the B string. We're on 9, 10, 12, 14, and 17. That last slide, you don't play 17, you slide into it. Now he's going to play this run here we're still staying in this F sharp minor or A major. I think this is A major here. So what you're going to play is, all right, so it's just in the scale, 14, 16, 14, 17, 14, 17. And we're going to end on 17 for this phrase. So now when you get to this part, you're bending on 17 and then resolving on 14 on the E. All right, 2 times, and then you hit the 17th fret on that high E. After you get to that, then you're going to play this line. So again, that's 17, 14. So you're going to bend 14 on the E and then pull off on the B, 17 to 14. Do it twice. All right, then you're going to come to bending on 16 on the G and 17 on the B, and this is how it's going to go. Bend. You want to hear the bend come down a slight bit, and then you're going to play this. And all you're doing here is 14 on the B, 16 and 14 on the G, back to 16, and then 16 on D. All right, then we're going to play a quick line here. So this is going up the scale. We're going to go E. We're going to go 14, 16 D, 13, 14, 16 on the G, and we're going to add that 14 on the B, and then resolve it, that first phrase, on 16 on the G. And then you're going to play this one. All right, now we're going to part of that scale. So this is a double hammer on here, 14, and then descend. Go down the D string, 16, and then you're going to end up on 14 on the E. All right, next part. We're going back to this bend here again on 16 with the little finger on 17 on the B. Briefly at 14 on the G, and then bend on 16 again. And now we're going to play this. Very staccato-ish, kind of slow. You don't rush it. Rush. And then you're just going to play this. So 14, 15, 17 on the B, 14 on the high E, 17 on the high E, 16 on the high E, 17 on the B, 14 on the E, and then you're going to end on 14 on the B. And then after that, you're going to run up that scale again. It's going to be pentatonic here, at least at this run. Right? So we're on 14, 16, 14, 16, 14, 17, 14, 17. Now here we go. We're coming into the very end now. So now we're going to go 14, 16, 17, 16, 17, 19, 19. Whew, bad note there. So, 19, and then back to 17, 19, and then bend, and then come back down. Let me just pick it one time. You're going to come down 17 to 15, and then bend it again. And then we go back to this part. There's little lead fills in here, optional. We're sitting here in that A major or F sharp minor. That's the first one. Second one is... All right, we're up here on this pentatonic where we were just playing, and then do a different one. That's a half step bend, come down. That's on the high E, and then the final one. So a half step bend here, 14 on the B. You probably have to do it with a pointer finger. And then after that comes to the final part of the song, and it fades out. That's actually playing over